Hi everyone, we're going to start in a little bit. Hi everyone, so first we'd like to thank our sponsors and all the people who have helped us with our conference today, especially the Marymount School of New York and Mr. Hargadon and Ms. Gray. And for everyone who's here, we'd like you to use the little star on the toolbox on your left-hand side and put the star to where exactly you are in the country or the world so we can see where you all are from. This is so cool. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the House of Technology, which is a student-led tech group that both myself and Robbie Hermanoff and I are in.
I'm Robbie. I'm a junior at the University School of Milwaukee, and I work in a server room downtown Milwaukee, and I volunteer in the House of Technology.
And I'm Madeline Cohen, and I'm a senior at the University School of Milwaukee, and I have been working in the House of Technology for a year. The House of Technology was created 2 years ago by 2 students and 2 faculty members in our upper school. Over time, our group has grown significantly into a group of almost 20 kids. We are a student-led tech team and tech support group.
We have 3 pillars that govern the hot team, and they're support and service, repairs, and projects. So each of them have different time frames. Support and service, what we do almost every day. So anything from fixing people's computer problems to troubleshooting computers, anything like that. Repairs, Aaron Petzel talked about that earlier in the day. It's we repair students' iPhones, iPads, computers, whatever. And projects are ongoing projects up to a month long, even a year. Stuff like 3D printers, laser cutters, Lego team projects, all kinds of stuff.
At University School, we have technology in every classroom. It's a one-to-one school, so every student has to have a laptop, and the students in the lower school and middle school have iPads. Also, we have things like speakers, amplifiers, smart boards, projectors, Apple TVs, and we use AirPlay and AirParrot on the classrooms. With this, as you can see, like a lot of problems can arise from all this technology.
So we use something called Zendesk. It's a support ticketing software, and teachers and students can use Zendesk. Students usually walk into our office and during their frees or during class times and ask us if we can help them out, and we'll troubleshoot small problems like that. And if we have bigger problems, we'll have somebody submit a ticket into Zendesk, and a student will be assigned that ticket, and we'll solve them over time. We also have teachers call into the office to have us remote into computers and solve them that way as well.
And we have a hot button, which is on each of the teachers' computers. So if they're having a problem in class or when they don't have class and they're having technology problems, what they can do is press the hot button. It'll take them to Zendesk so they can fill out a report, and we will be able to help and serve them. We also work on a lot of ongoing projects as well as we've done a lot of projects. And the big thing about this is it's whatever the students really want to do. If we see a need in our school from the teachers, from the faculty, from the students, and even sometimes the parents, we'll try to find a way to say yes and make the vision a reality. One cool project that we have is called the App of the Week. What we do is every week we post an application outside of our office and the QR code to that. And so it's really cool and an interesting way to get the students more involved and to be more interactive with them. We have new interactive apps that we use and promising apps that are newer. And after it, we can write a review of the strengths and the weaknesses of it after all the students have reviewed it.
So one of my ongoing projects right now is to do with metal fabrication and 3D printing. So the past 2 years we've been acquiring new equipment, 3D printing equipment and laser cutting equipment. The past year, it's the picture on the right, we acquired 2 3D printers, the Rostock Max V2s. They came in a kit. We built them from the ground up, and students use them on a day-to-day basis. We have students printing prosthetic fingers. We have students printing science fair projects. Like my project is studying wings on aircraft. We print the wings. We have students printing boxes for different cases for iPhones or cases for Raspberry Pis, all kinds of parts. And recently we've acquired, or we're in the process of acquiring a plasma cutter, which is a joint project between maintenance and us. So maintenance can print whatever brackets and parts they need immediately, and we're able to laser cut whatever parts we need for different projects. So FDM printing, we have a MakerBot. It's one of the older models. It can print in 2 colors, 2 plastics at once, and we have the printer on the right, 2 of them. One of them still being built is a Rostock Max V2. Has a higher build volume, so we can print bigger things. We recently printed an Eiffel Tower, and kids can print all kinds of stuff. They just stop by. We have tutorials that they can read, only 15 pages long, and they can start printing. It's drag and drop. And another project I've been working on is with a teacher that just finished. It was for their computer science class. They had learned to code in HTML and CSS, and they wanted to apply it in a real-life situation. So we used Microsoft Hyper-V to create a virtual machine where the kids could log on and put their websites on. We use WordPress as the framework for it, which is it's a website software used in all kinds of stuff. The New York Times uses it, eBay uses it, everybody pretty much uses it. And they were able to make their own website, stuff ranging from online retailers to some kids made a blog about sports cars, all kinds of stuff. And that was sort of a way to get students involved with it.
One of the projects that I work on a lot of the times is making videos and making tutorial videos for students, faculty, as well as the parents. I've made videos like checking what the kids have for lunch one day, or also checking how to access a report card. And how we get our ideas for these videos is from the students and the teachers and the parents who want to know how to do stuff. And we have a YouTube channel which we upload all of our videos onto.
And one of the more important things we do, which has been going on for the past 2 years, is creating and establishing relationships with vendors. So we currently have wholesale accounts with eTech Parts. That's where we get our parts for repairs from. We have other vendors like eBay, Amazon, iFixit, who supply us with different parts and different tools we use for repairing. We also have partnerships with CDW and bigger enterprise corporations for acquiring new equipment for server rooms and all kinds of stuff. And really, it's the foundation. So we get cheaper prices. We're allowed to we get higher profit margins, so we can make more money for the house technology and keep recycling that money. eTech Parts was one of our first wholesale accounts, and they're our main source for repair parts. And they have hundreds of parts for all kinds of stuff. We get a discount of about 40%, and we get lower shipping prices, so we can get the parts in quicker. We also use iFixit. It's what we use for our tools and our teardown guides. So the tools, they make these great little screwdriver kits. They're about $30. They have every single type of bit you would need. And the teardown guides, they tell us step-by-step how to do different teardowns. It's how we get newer kids involved with the program. They're allowed to read these steps and then go through repair with us, and then they can do it all by themselves after reading the guide.
We do a lot of repairs in the House of Technology, and it's very important for us to have an organized system so that we are able to be efficient and be extremely productive. So what happens is when a student brings in a broken iPad or computer, we'll do a device review and an assessment of the device. We also have an inspection form that we have to fill out and list what are all the details of the repair, how much it's going to cost, and we use a price quote for that, as well as we order the parts, and then our students will repair the device and return it in a timely manner.
About 2 years ago, David Routier, he's in the chat right now, he was working with one of our photography teachers in renovating the entire photography lab. And the computers were really slow. They barely worked. They would take 15 minutes for basic functions, copy and pasting programs using Photoshop. Nothing really worked, and they weren't really able to do anything in the classrooms. So David, he started to formulate a plan to replace all the computers, and he went through the plan with Mrs. Lusick and through the board members to allocate funds to do it. And he had to do research to figure out what sort of network topology he should use and what sort of computers and parts we should order. And he presented proposals multiple times to administrators to reduce costs and to make it more efficient. And he finally finalized network design and ordered the computers accessories. And over the summer, he and Jacob Wine, another kid in our program, they went to replace all the parts in the entire room. So they would take all the computers away, all the projectors away. They set up new computers for all the students. They ran the cables, and they set up connections to the servers. They had 2 storage servers for storing kids' projects. So they were always in 2 places at once. They could never lose any of their projects. They had projectors that they could project to all the time. And here's a picture of the lab. So all those computers are connected to a main storage server where all their projects are backed up. On the right side is a projector. Any kid can project and show his work to the rest of the class. And the teacher got a new computer. It's a spiffy computer. It's got a backup system and 3 screens and a cool mouse and keyboard, all kinds of stuff. So she can teach the class. And what she's able to do is project to the screen and show kids really how it's done and teach the kids. And everything I said is back up to a Drobo. It's a backup server. So if the kids ever lose their data, it would still be on there. And on the left side, they have 2 printers that are printing all the kids' projects. And here's that projector. Anybody can project to it, and everybody can see what's happening. And here's just the panoramic of the view of the room.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about our space. Our space has significantly morphed over time. We've been constantly updating what our lab looks like and changing what kind of tools we use and basically just the layout of the room. We started in a very small room and quickly realized that we outgrew that. So here are some of our tools that are all laid out for repairs. And before you even enter our main office, there's a computer here, and there are also slips behind it. So for iPad repairs, before you even enter the room, you can be helped and your machine can be evaluated. And then the cart has all of the parts for the repairs. So if we ordered a new screen or if we ordered a new home button or something, or if a screen or a device is broken, what we do is we put the broken device and all of the materials on a shelf. And here are some pictures of our space. One thing that we do is because we work on so many different projects all at once and so many kids are doing different things, there are a lot of computers in our room, and each kid who's in the House of Technology, or the majority of them, has a different computer so that they can work on whatever they're doing. Like we have one kid that processes the senior speeches, which is something that all students at USM have to do. All of the seniors have to deliver a speech. And so there's a computer just for that. There's a computer just for the 3D printing projects, and so on and so forth. One thing about the House of Technology is we don't think of ourselves as just students. We think of ourselves as entrepreneurs. We are constantly ready to learn and build on our ideas and try to make like our visions a reality. And we just try to serve others in our school and make our school a better place. And we do this by innovating and helping the teachers and really hearing from all the people within our community. With our student-run tech program, it's a little different than regular tech departments where there's just 2 paid positions and the rest are for doing different jobs. We let students here really find what interests them and find what suits them best and really grow into their position. And so we have some students who are really interested in repairs and they do special repairs, or there's some students that really like to make tutorials like me. That's what I do a lot of the times. And there are some students that like to deal with the 3D printers, and so they are constantly building and repairing the 3D printers. And so do you have any questions? Let us know. You can type in the chat. We don't get a letter grade for our work in the House of Technology, but it's put in our transcript as a pass or fail class, and so it's very obvious that on your college applications that they know that you're a part of the House of Technology, and it's put in. And there's actually a lot of emphasis on the importance of the House of Technology within our school. And so teachers know that you're very useful in class and that you're doing a lot of extra stuff outside the classroom. And it's really helpful during college admissions. I know that I got to put it on my transcripts, and it was really helpful to me because it also opened the doors to so many new opportunities.
Yeah, we have two teachers that supervise us. There's Deidre McCain, who is in the office right next to us in that opening area, and she'll make sure we're doing the repairs right and we're not goofing off. And then we have Mrs. Lusick, who makes sure we have the funds and everything we need to be able to function as a House of Technology. When kids first are inducted in the House of Technology, they have to sign an agreement that they won't do anything bad, and if they break it, then they'll get a fail in the class. But we've never had to do that ever. So there are faculty that do supervise us, but they're more guides to us.
And we have a very strict code of conduct that all of us as a group came up with, and we all abide by it. And it has really just helped everyone stay in order. So some of the codes, it's just mostly about goofing off. We have to be respectful to others. We can't mess around with anything that's not supposed to be looked at. And we have a lot of cameras in our room, security cameras, just so that we can monitor what's going on, seeing that no devices are being stolen. Thank you, David.
It started my freshman year, so 3 years ago, and it started as two students, Jacob Wine and David Rutier, going to Mrs. Lusick, one of our supervisors, and asking if they wanted to get involved with the House of Technology and create one. They wanted to be involved with the technology at school, and we really didn't have any program like that. You would go to Mrs. Lusick or Deidre McCain and ask them to repair your phone, but you couldn't really help repair phones or anything like that. So they really wanted to become involved, and after that first talk, Mrs. Lusick made an application to start the House of Technology just to get extra help in the tech department, and it's evolved to become this great thing where kids can start projects and do whatever they want. And there's no rotation of students. Students can take out whatever devices they want. So if somebody comes in and wants a repair done, if the student's there, they can reserve that iPhone or whatever. It's basically on a basis of who's there first. Most kids have study halls where they can come in at least one a day. So it's fairly distributed. It's distributed among everybody.
And also, it's just whenever kids have free time, I know a lot of students in the House of Technology are there before school and after school, and during their free periods or study halls they come in. So it's whenever they're available, they're working on current projects, they're working on repairs, and they're also just there for support. I know a lot of students just sit there during their study halls and wait for teachers to come in because there are always faculty members wanting help with stuff. And for running classes for other students,
Sure. So Mrs. Lusick, she's the Director of Academic Technology, and she makes decisions about Kids and Teach. She's created this program during the summer where kids are able to learn programming. So one of the classes we have is on Ruby on Rails. We have external people that come in. But in terms of kids teaching, it's not as big as you think. We'd like to expand it. One of the classes I did was on 3D printing and how to 3D print. But in terms of kids teaching other kids, it's mostly the new kids that come to House of Technology learning how to do repairs or learning about these technologies. That's somewhere we'd like to expand, is kids teaching kids.
And one thing that I've experienced, like just this weekend for my global studies class, they wanted to know how to use Noodle tools, and so I made a tutorial using Camtasia on how to access that, and I posted it on our student page. And so it's just little things like that, tutorials that happen.
In terms of education, when I've been looking at colleges for the past couple of years, I've seen a lot of colleges that are more interested in me, or I'm more interested in. They have project-based learning, and I think that's where our school is headed. We recently adopted a new block schedule where we're able to have more time per class, but less class meetings. So in these 70-minute blocks, for example, in AP Chemistry, we're able to do a lab and then talk about it. Whereas before it would just be a lecture. So I think our school's moving in that direction. I don't think it'll ever, in our school careers, that it'll ever be completely project-based and completely like the House of Technology. But I think we're headed towards it. Yeah.
Also, like in my French class this past semester, we had a big project where we were working in our makerspace and kids were creating stuff, and that was kind of a cool thing for me because I was able to use this 3D printer and use like conductive thread to create something, and those kind of projects are really kind of what fuel our school's education.
Yes, I consider this one of the biggest highlights, if not the biggest highlight of my high school experience. It's not a class or anything that we do. It's one of our learning experiences, and I've learned more from this than I have in any class.
And it's also just taken us to incredible places. We were able to speak at the International Society of Technology and Education as well as the ISACS conference, and it's just been a really fantastic experience. It's definitely helped me lead me in the direction in terms of colleges and in terms of careers.
We choose the app of the week just based on what apps we've been using most. So Christopher Armbrust, he's the one in charge of it. He just uses the apps based on what he's been using. So he browses a lot of technology websites, and he's able to pull what people have been raving about and really like on the internet.
And it's interesting to see because a lot of teachers will come up to me and be like, "Oh, I really liked the new app of the week this week," and it changes every week. So there's always a new product to try. Does anyone have any other questions? Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we will be closing the presentation now. Thank you so much for being here, and once again, thank you so much to our sponsors.